Hello YouTubers, Alaska Prepper here. Second video of the day, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to try to make this one a little quick. I need to cover this because what is one of the prepper staples out there? One of the things that preppers and people that like to be prepared for anything like to put away because it lasts a very long time if properly stored. That is rice. I've been talking about this for a little bit now. I've done several videos telling you how the price of rice is going to continue to go up. And wait till you see. I actually have it to show you that the price of rice is predicted by the end of next year to double what it is now. And wait till you see what it's predicted at 2024, 2025. They've actually have this predicted out. So don't tell me that they don't know what's going on. They do, and they're planning for it. And a little piece of this article here actually shows you. Prices of rice are set to rise as high input costs dampen farm output. Remember that little word, input costs? I've been talking about that as well. Farmers do not work for free, ladies and gentlemen. They have to get paid because they have to live. And the medium of exchange that you use in whatever country you live in, that's what you need to earn in order to pay your bills. So people that think that everything's going to be okay because the government's going to control prices, set restrictions, and all of this kind of stuff, you're wrong, and you're going to suffer for it if you don't prepare now. But I don't eat rice. Okay, let's say that you don't eat rice. Now let's say that there is a shortage of rice, which there will be because the price is going to go up. And I'm going to show you as well where there is a shortage of rice that is being predicted, right? Not by me, but by the authorities, or who some people would consider the authorities in this matter. So let's say that you don't eat rice. Do you eat potatoes? Okay, so about half of the world eats rice, right? About half of the world uses rice as a staple in their diets. Let's say that there is a rice shortage, and now those people that normally eat rice as a staple in their diet cannot get it for whatever reason. Maybe it's just too expensive, they can't afford it, or maybe it's just not available in the amount that it used to be available for them to get. So what are they going to do to fill in that gap? They're going to go to something else. Let's just say that they go to potatoes. Guess what's going to happen? More potatoes are going to be taken out of the market than they normally are, and guess what's going to happen to the price of potatoes? They're going to go up. So it's going to affect you either way. And I do believe that this story is coming out of the Philippines, but I'm only going to read a little bit of it. I will leave the link for this on a pinned comment so that you can revisit this if you'd like. A price shortage is looming if the government does not address rising input costs and low farmer incomes. Rice industry analysts and representatives said, quote, "There is a threat that we might be lacking in rice. For us farmers, the first reason is because of low price of pellet, unmilled rice, and high input costs." So they are getting a low price for their product, and now they're having to spend more to create that product whose price is being lowered. But you don't see those prices being lowered, do you, ladies and gentlemen? Because of this, the harvest is not good. There is no motivation to harvest because farmers earn so little. Remember I told you, farmers will not work for zero. They will not work for anything. For nothing, I mean. Right? It doesn't matter what it is that you're farming. And they continue to say, expect rice prices to increase. We are conditioning people to expect that rice prices will increase, he added. I'll say that again. We are conditioning people to expect that rice prices will increase. What they're doing is they're conditioning people's minds so that when they see those price increases, it won't be a shock to them. But what I say is this, ladies and gentlemen, if you're hearing it now, get it now. Learn how to put it away for long term so that you can have it. Rice doesn't have that much nutrition, but it has nutrition, and it will keep you alive. For the last year or so, I'm not sure how much it is where you live. Leave it in the comments if you remember what you were paying for rice a year ago and what you're paying for it today. I do know that when I go to Costco, I am paying $45 for a 50-pound bag of cow roast rice, which is my favorite rice, sticky rice I like to call it, where last year, ladies and gentlemen, about a year ago, 12 months, maybe 13 months ago, that exact same bag of rice was selling for about $27. From $27 to $45. All right, ladies and gentlemen, and it's going to go up even more in the coming months and years ahead. And this is what I want you to take a look at right here. Farmers are not applying sufficient fertilizer due to its very high prices. Remember that natural gas thing that's going on? And no one had the forethought before they imposed all these sanctions. Hey, what do we use natural gas for? Oh, maybe they should have thought that they use natural gas to make fertilizer. And now that all of that natural gas, instead of being input into the market, into the economy, is literally being burned off by the main supplier of natural gas, or who used to be the main supplier of natural gas in Europe. They're literally burning off $10 million worth of natural gas a day. Why? Because sanctions, they work really well, don't they? And I know I'm being sarcastic. And I'll finish it off with this last quote, ladies and gentlemen. This is how dire they are in the Philippines. You remember a carryover? So pretty much a carryover, or your ending stock, pretty much is you've used everything that you're going to use this year, and then how much do you have left to carry over into next year, right? So here it says there will be an ending stock of 2.228 million metric ton equivalent to 60 days. So they are going to have a carryover that is equivalent to what they use in 60 days. What happens if they have a typhoon? What happens if they have any kind of natural disaster that gets rid of their rice? Just like what happened in Pakistan, where flooding ended up eradicating about 90% of the harvest that was ready to get picked off the field. Gone, 90%. Where are they going to get their rice? Where are they going to get their food that they had in the fields that got taken away by floods? It can happen anywhere, it can happen anytime, and that is why you must be prepared. Now I want to show you what it's looking like as far as the USDA numbers go. Right here it states the USDA in its September Rice Outlook report indicated that the 2022 and 23 global rice production was lowered by 4.4 million tons to 508 million tons. That doesn't sound like it's that big of a deal. Only 4.4 million tons down, that's not that much. The first year-to-year decline since 2015 and 16, largely due to reduced production forecasts for China, India, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, and the US. Top rice exporter India has recently restricted rice exports on growing concerns about grain stocks after erratic weather hurt the harvest. Now, the 508 million metric tons that we just talked about, that is what is estimated to be produced 2022-2023. All right. So I wanted to give you a number that we can work with. So we have 508 million tons, metric tons, that we're looking forward to producing. Right. So I went back to 2021-2022. And if you take a look at here, this is world consumption. 2021-2022, the world consumed 510 million metric tons, which is roughly 2 million metric tons lower than what we are looking to produce this year. So if we continue to consume the same amount that we consumed in 2021-2022, and if you take a look at this chart, it's an upward trend, meaning that we should be looking at consuming more next year than what we did 2021-2022, but maybe we won't. All right, but right now we are a couple of million metric tons less than what we actually consume. I had troubles taking a look at our carryover for the world, but what this means is this, ladies and gentlemen, without that information as far as what carryover we have, be it if we have a 3-month carryover or a 6-month carryover, preferably we'd have a carryover that will last us an entire year. Murphy's Law always peeks out his head when you are least expecting it. Why am I telling you this? I'm talking about the world, the world consumption, world production. The reason I'm telling you this is not so that you can go out there and save the world. The reason I'm telling you is that so that you can go out there and prepare for your family. Because what if something does happen? And I know whenever I bring this up, people are always like, oh, you're a fearmonger. That's not going to happen. There was a time, right? A long time ago, but things work in cycles. There was a time that was called a year without a summer. A big volcano erupted. I think it was Tambora, but don't quote me on that. A big volcano erupted. It ended up spewing a whole bunch of sulfur dioxide into the atmosphere, which blocked the sun's energy from coming in. And it ended up pretty much bringing the temperatures of the globe, of the earth, down enough to where no crops could be grown. What if that happened? What if that happened and we don't have enough of a carryover in anything to get us through a whole year? Well, you can decide for yourselves what you think would happen. But go ahead and look that story up. It's called A Year Without a Summer. And you can see what happened because of that one thing. Just one thing caused famine around the globe. So prepare, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to prepare just merely from the financial aspect of it, that is a good enough reason. Take a look at this chart right here. This is the rice price prediction for 2023. Now, if you take a look, we'll just go to December's, right? To December numbers, because that's easier instead of going through every month. They always change a tiny bit from month to month, all right? But here in December of 2022, you're showing a price of 0.003, okay? 0.003, keeping it simple, right? Now, in December of 2023, next December, you're showing a price of 0.006, almost 7. What was this one up here? 30. So it's actually more than double. So by the end of next year, we will be paying more than double for what we pay for rice now. Now that's if the government doesn't get involved and start doing price controls. If they do start doing price controls, I'm pretty sure that there will be rationing, and I'm pretty sure that no matter how much money you have to buy rice, that you'll only be able to buy a certain amount. But this is a more than doubling of the price of rice between this year, the end of this year, and the end of next year. Now keep this price in mind, 0.006. Actually, it's 0.007, but we'll go with 6. December 2023. Take a look at December 2024, 0.008, another 33%, or another 30%. Take a look at December of 2025, 0.009, 12.5%. Oh, look at that. Let's go to 2026, 0.0097. So it only went up just a little bit, about 8% between 25 and 26. So at least for the next year or so, you can expect to pay an additional 100% for your rice more than what you pay today. If that's not a good enough reason for you to seriously consider getting prepared with everything that you need, not just rice, because this is the same story with almost anything. Just take a look at what's going on in the grocery stores. If this is not enough to make you consider to get prepared for what's coming ahead, then ladies and gentlemen, I'll have to tell you with a heavy heart that you will get what you deserve. That you will get the outcome that you deserve, because if you fail to prepare now, you are effectively preparing to fail in the future. Having said that, I really hope that this maybe woke some of you up, that maybe are new, that are just waking up, that need a little bit of a kick, a little bit of a push or a tug to start getting prepared. Because time is running short. I am very optimistic by nature, and I've often said, ladies and gentlemen, we have time to prepare, slow and steady. Well, eventually I won't be able to say that anymore. Eventually I'll be saying something like, I hope you prepared because it's too late. It's too late. But that's okay. There's always going to be those of you out there that are living in a normalcy bias and that will always say, oh, that guy is a kook. He don't know what he's talking about. It's never happened in my lifetime. Recency bias. That could never happen here in the United States of America. Normalcy bias. Or, I'm not going to pay attention to that. Self-induced ignorance. Now, if you do have ignorance, if you are ignorant of what's going on because you've been programmed by the mainstream media and government pundits that always tell you everything's going to be all right, even though it's not. If you have been programmed, I don't blame you for that, because many people have. But wake up, because you have some time still to get those things that you need. And one day, it doesn't matter how much money you have. One day, it doesn't matter how much gold and silver you have. You will not be able to get it. In my opinion, gold and silver is not for things that are happening during a major crisis, and this will be a worldwide crisis. Gold and silver is so that you can preserve your wealth to bring it over to the next paradigm, whichever it may be. But you need to have stuff. You need to have sustenance. You need to have water. You need to have medicine. You need to have the things that you need in order to make it through the crisis. So do you want to just merely survive, or would you like to thrive through a crisis? That way you can be a leader when the dust settles and help your community, your neighbors, your family, everyone around you. If you prepare now, you'll be able to help those that weren't prepared for whatever reason, and you'll be able to help to build a better future for our country and the country that you live in. Believe me, it's true what I'm telling you. Having said that, I hope that you have a great day. Remember to be good to each other. When good people do good things happen. Remember to reach one, teach one, and repeat. If we all did this, the world would be a better place, and you know that it will be a better place. Many blessings to all of you and your families. I'm Alaska Prepper. I'm out.